Wow, what a year it has been. Hey s'mores, I'm Shannon Morse. Welcome to Morse Code. Did you notice that I only posted like 40 videos this year? This year was rough. I know that I didn't show it or talk about it online much at all, but this year was really hard. I got super sick in January and then again in June. On June 10th, I remember the day because it was the same day that Vans came out with their Sailor Moon collab. I was as sick as could be, but I worked through it so that I could collect shoes because I have priorities, apparently. So I got sick back in January, and that really affected my work. I had no energy, no motivation. I just felt tired constantly, and I could not focus at all. I had brain fog. I think after working as a content creator since 2008, this was the first time that I have truly experienced burnout. I have made over 2,000 tech videos over the course of my career, and I finally experienced burnout. I suspect that it was triggered by getting sick and working way too hard and making myself physically ill, which then affected my mental health too, and it was just a struggle to make any kind of videos. The way I was feeling lasted for months, and YouTube does not make you feel like you are worthwhile when the algorithm totally screws you over if you don't post consistently. And what do I mean by that? Well, tech is a very saturated market, and if you stop posting for a while, YouTube will start recommending other channels to your audience because they want to keep your audience on the YouTube platform, even if you're not the one posting. So channels that are similar and that they will likely watch are the ones that will be shown to them, and they will stop recommending you because you have nothing new for your audience to watch. It makes sense. So seeing that drop in views can be very detrimental to mental health, which in turn makes you feel less inclined to post anything new. So I didn't. I basically just posted what I was responsible for, and that was about it. Throughout 2022, the real world outside of content creation just kind of felt like it was falling apart for the third year in a row. Like Roe versus Wade was overturned, and if you follow me on Twitter, you already know how I feel about that. The economy has been horrific if you don't get any raises. Companies are removing perks and increasing fees, and that could be anything from like buying groceries to fees for memberships that you use online. Prices for everyday household items started increasing. The cost of flights is insanely crazy. Like, I can't go home during the actual Christmas holiday week to visit my family this year, so I'm celebrating a week early to beat the crazy flight prices because it's just not even in my budget anymore. I lost a lot of patrons to no fault of their own. Most folks left due to financial hardships. You can actually fill out an exit survey whenever you decide to cancel. It's anonymous, and I can read it, and a lot of people decided to cancel because of financial hardships. And in turn, that meant that I was losing income as well, making me feel like I'm barely keeping myself from drowning. So June rolled around. I felt ill again. This time it took a few weeks to get healthier, but it still took me until October to feel like myself again. I think the event that got me re-energized for the last couple of months was going to DEF CON. It helped me realize that the life that I was living before the pandemic was still there and still obtainable, and there's still people outside of my contained little studio space in my house that appreciate what I do. It is absolutely a struggle to pour your heart and soul into creating content every single week and putting yourself in front of a camera every single week and building something that you are happy with, only to have strangers on the other side of the internet tell you that they can't trust you because your hair color is purple. Which, if you've ever said that to me in my comments, you're shadow banned. So have fun commenting to nobody. Or to have people say that you are only worthwhile because of your looks. Yeah, that's a thing. It's insulting to my intelligence and my intellect and my years and years of college education and the many years that I have written my own content and produced my own videos. I've never had somebody write my videos for me. Did you know that? Yeah. So after 14 years of hearing it and never seeing any viewers in real life for so long, I just could not find a reason to post content. So then I went to DEF CON, and it was basically like thousands of hugs. Everybody was so happy to be there, and every single one made me feel strong again. Don't worry, we wore masks whenever we were at DEF CON, and I tested before and after when I got home, so I'm fine. But I realized, yes, my health was crap this year, and it's affected my ability to work. And since I could not physically find the energy to publish videos consistently, I also got super behind on reviews and content. So I apologize to brands that have sent me products for review. It was not my intention to not do my job. It just kind of happened that way. It feels like the negative and toxic, kind of sexist energy that came out of YouTube comments, the loss of income, the health issues, everything just seemed to get worse and worse and pile up to the point where I just felt completely tired. I was like physically exhausted constantly. But around the time of DEF CON and then October, I felt like this switch came on. I started feeling like myself again. I got my shit together. I hired an editor. Her name is Colleen. She's freaking amazing. It absolutely helps to have somebody who I need to hold myself accountable to in order to make my content. I started making sponsorships happen again. Nobody else runs sponsorships for me. This is a one-woman show, so I was in charge of finding those sponsorships. I said yes to important tech and media events that in turn helped me connect with other creators and brands who I sincerely care about and I want to help succeed. I ended up getting invited to a creator camp in October, and I honestly did not think that I would be invited to it, mainly because I was so lackluster this year on posting content. I didn't think that brand would find value in me and my work and they would move on to the next best thing. So when I was able to go to that camp, I was thrilled. I was so happy. And coming home from that camp, I felt valued and I felt worthwhile. I've been dying to travel, and Japan finally unlocked their doors. Finally. So the day I heard that news, way back in October, I immediately booked a trip for December. It was wonderful. I literally flew to Japan. I stayed in Tokyo for a week. I sang karaoke. I bought Sailor Moon merchandise. I ate nothing but gyoza and sushi and ramen. I went there all by myself and I just enjoyed speaking Japanese and not being in America for once. It feels like my old self is back. So the last few months this year really helped tremendously for me to get that motivation back that I needed to get in front of the camera and not feel tired. I'm glad that I didn't try to push myself through those illnesses that I experienced and just slowed down enough for me to get out of bed in the morning, because I know that if I did push myself too hard, I would probably have ended up in a hospital. I'm back now. I'm in a better place. I shifted some priorities behind the scenes to make sure I'm focusing on the things that matter. I am so close now to hitting 100,000 subscribers. Great things are happening in 2023. I'm glad that I'm going into the next year with a clearer idea of where I want my business to go from here and who I want to make content for and how I get there. So I will see you after the new year. I'm heading to CES first thing in January. I will have content from that show and a lot of videos already planned. Thank you so much for sticking with me while I went through this year. It was definitely hard, but I'm happy to be here and I'm really excited to share all sorts of new adventures with you next year. So thanks for sticking around. I love y'all so much. I'm Shannon Morse. Bye y'all.